Mandatory inclusionary zoning is a planning mechanism which ensures that in every new development there is a proportion of it for affordable and social housing.
Let's just break it down. So zoning is just how town planners like me allocate land to different uses. Offices, factories, houses, apartments. Inclusionary just means include or integrate different uses into the same area. In this case, we're talking about integrating social and affordable housing into our residential neighbourhoods.
It's really needed so that people on low incomes can be guaranteed that they can live close enough to where they work or to the services that they need. It's needed because Australia faces a housing affordability crisis, and mandatory inclusionary zoning can provide a permanent mechanism to help with meeting the needs that we have for low-income housing in Australia's future.
Analysis by Constellation found that MIZ could deliver about 160,000 dwellings across Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne, so our three biggest housing markets, over the next 25 years. And that's an important contribution to the about 500,000 social and affordable homes that are needed in those places.
The impact MIZ would have had upon my life would have been quite incredible. It would have allowed me to pay less rent than I have, and which then would have meant that I was able to go and do more. Not having mandatory inclusionary zoning created housing stress, and that led to a lack of productivity. Had I had it, then the complete reverse would have happened.
It's a standard template that can be used to implement mandatory inclusionary zoning in any metropolitan area in Australia. And what it does is it provides clarity and certainty to all the parties involved. So we don't have multiple versions of mandatory inclusionary zoning, making it expensive and difficult to implement.
What we need to happen now is we really need people to support it. We also need councils to get behind the idea. We need developers to embrace mandatory inclusionary zoning rather than oppose it. We need state governments to adopt it in their planning systems, and we need the federal government to provide appropriate incentives within housing agreements to make sure state governments agree to include mandatory inclusionary zoning in their planning systems.